I'm sure there are a lot of environmentalists out there who would love this statement.
That's right.
And
Same
perhaps,
thing.
you know, perhaps the entire green movement comes from that.
That's right.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yes, of course. If you read the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, today we find about environmentalists and greenery. This is all there in the hadith 1400 years back. Even in the time of war, the Prophet said, don't chop down trees.
Don't?
Don't chop down trees.
Okay.
You know, so it is, you know, for the encouragement of this greenery, etc.
Yes. And then, when it comes to personal wealth, for example, that obviously is a blessing as well. Do you consider that part of the responsibility of having that zakat? Is zakat part of the responsibility of having wealth, for example?
Allah says in the Quran, the wealth is a fitna for you. It's a test for you. Test means Allah is testing you with the wealth. And one of the tests is that our Creator says that if anyone who has a saving of more than 85 grams of gold, he or she should give 2.5% of that saving every lunar year in charity. That's called a zakat. So Allah giving you wealth. After He gives you wealth, He's seeing whether are you following His commandment. 2.5% of that saving every lunar you should give in charity. That's the minimum. After that, do you give more charity? That's optional. So Allah is testing you. So wealth is a test for the human beings. That is the reason our beloved Prophet ﷺ said, it is more easier for a poor man to go to Jannah than a rich man. For the poor man in zakat, he gets 100 out of 100. He doesn't have to give zakat. For the rich man, he may get 0, he may get 10 out of 100, may get 50, may get 100, but chance of him getting 100 is less. So Muslims normally, those who have to give zakat, may be giving zakat, but may not be giving in the correct
and this comes in other faiths as well. This thing about a camel and an eel and things.
Sorry?
This comes in other faiths as well, doesn't it?
Yes, there is charity in other faiths also.
I see. And that's an eye-opener, isn't it? And then these days you get things called intellectual property. You know, you get royalties from your recordings, you get commissions from your publishing companies, and so on. Is zakat due on that as well?
Yes, whatever you earn. If you get royalties about in a book, and you get royalty from that, if you have that royalty, that amount of money, for more than 1 year, you have to pay zakat on that.
I see.
So whatever you earn, and if that money or that asset stays with you for more than 1 lunar year, every lunar year you should give 2.5%.
Let me extend that further. How about somebody who has the potential of earning $1 million or something on some intellectual property that he has? Just
if
the
he has not earned, he doesn't have to pay zakat. If he has earned, the moment he earns, he has to pay. Potentially something else, but has he earned or not is important. If he has that wealth, so intellectual property doesn't have zakat until it materializes into wealth. Zakat is on wealth and asset.
I see.
Intellectual property, the moment it converts into an asset, into wealth,
it has to convert into wealth,
yes.
Not necessarily be evaluated in terms of wealth.
No, see, for example, I have written a book. I can sell it, and every year earn $1 million. If I have not sold it, if I have that, I don't pay zakat. But the day I sell it, and the day I get that money, and if I save it me for 1 year, then I have to pay zakat on that.
I see. And this goes for all blessings that God has given us.
Yes, sir.
There are some people who also think, I believe, and I've heard this again from people I move around with, some people, thank heavens for that, that it is possible for you to enjoy life and also take from the earth whatever you want, be it wealth, be it even substances, be it intellectual property, be it whatever, that as long as you have worked for it, then it is yours, and that it's not God's blessing, but it's the result of your own hard work. How would you react to that statement?
I would say that all the good things come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Alhamdulillah.
Without His permission, it can never reach you. As Allah says in the Quran, even a leaf cannot fall without the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Therefore, when it comes to taking blessings, what would be your message to a young man who is not that close to God?
I would say that whatever good things he has, it's as we say in Arabic, haza min fazli rabbi. This is by the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Haza min fazli rabbi actually means that what God has given me, I don't actually deserve it. He has given me all this even though I don't deserve it. That is the real meaning. Haza min fazli rabbi. So for a young man who has been successful in life, he should realize that it is only because Allah has permitted it. He may be intelligent, but if he thinks his intelligence has only got him all this thing, he is the biggest fool in the world. It is only with the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah has permitted. And sometimes Allah permits it even to a person who's far away from Deen.
So in other words, the summary of this message is, yes, God has given us all these blessings, but that is because of His graciousness, His kindness.
And He may be testing you. As I told you earlier, your wealth is the test for you.
Yes.
Your blessings also may be a test for you. So Allah is testing that person, that is this person going to thank me or not? So person may be an unbeliever.
And then there's always responsibility attached to it.
So he has to respond back. If he thinks, no, because I'm intelligent, because they've worked hard, so he's the biggest fool. That means he will fail in this test. And the hereafter, he will not get any benefit from it. So therefore, in this world, a true Muslim, he should always thank Allah for his ni'mah and strive in the way of Allah so that he'll benefit in this world as well as hereafter.
And on that note, my brother Zakir, Naik and I, we thank Allah for having given us the time this evening to have been with you, ladies and gentlemen. And both of us, we thank you as well for tolerating us in your living room this evening. And that word tolerate, I'll change it immediately for welcoming us to your sitting rooms this evening. And with that note of thanks, both of us would like to wish you a very, very good evening. Until next time, please enjoy the rest of the evening. May peace be with you. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.